Good afternoon, all. Thank you for joining us for the first presser for the 2022-2023 Vodacom United Rugby Championship season. With us, we have Chelsea Sharks head coach Sean Everitt and captain Thomas du Toit. Prior to opening the floor for questions, I'm just going to read out the team to play Zebre on Friday evening, the 23rd of September. At 1, we have Ntuthuko Mtunu, Kieran van Vuren, Thomas du Toit. At 4, Kebron Krobler, Reniel Hugo, James Fenter, Dylan Richardson, Pepsi Buthelezi, Grant Williams, Butter Chamberlain at 10. Making a return, we have Takir Abrahams, Ben Tapawa, Rowan Janse van Rensburg, Werner Kok, Apalele Fassi. On our bench, we have Dan Euster, Dian Bloer, Kalu Sadi, Justin Basson, Sikambuzo Noche, Cameron Wright, Fred Zeilinger, and Manus Podgita. It's important to note that there are 3 players making their debut for the Chelsea Sharks in the tournament. They are Rowan Janse van Rensburg, Justin Basson, and Kalu Sadi. The floor is now open for questions.
Hi, Sean. Sbu here, Sport 24. I hope you're doing well. Just tell us about the team that is going to run out for the first game of the season. It has a very youngish look to it and a very newish, in terms of guys who weren't part of last season, even though they're not playing, their professional rugby for the first time. Your Kalu Sadis, Fred Zeilinger has just come in as well. Tell us about those guys, what they bring in. And can you as well talk to us about, Ntuthuko Mtunu as well, starting at number 1 with Ox not being around. He's a Springbok now. Is he expected to make the step up in that front row?
Yeah, I think the makeup of our team is based on performance in the preseason friendlies. You talk about a young team. Yes, we do have a long list of injuries of guys that are coming back and recovering from surgery, so they're not with us. But we believe that this team has prepared well and trained well in the off season, and it's the one that can do the job for us while we're overseas here in Europe. It is an exciting opportunity for Ntuthuko after having played behind Ox and Chair for the majority of the URC last year. But his selection to the box was justified on his performances off the bench, and we hope that he can continue that form in the starting jersey on Friday night.
And a guy like Rowan Janse van Rensburg coming in from overseas, back in South Africa, how has he been like? How has he trained, and how has he fitted into this very talented back line of the Sharks?
Yeah, Rowan been a revelation for us. Brings a lot of experience to the group. We're very fortunate that we have 2 experienced centers, to guide a young Butter Chamberlain through this competition. Apart from that, we know that Rowan is an experienced campaigner. He is an international, and we're very fortunate to have him in the 12 jersey on Friday night.
Jan, you can proceed, followed by Carl.
Thank you, Navashni. Thank you, Sean. Thank you, Thomas. Sean, if we can look at Zebre, I mean, they weren't the best performing team last season. Do you expect anything different from them? What are the dangers to start against a team like that?
Yeah, I think they've got a new coaching staff, and they, as you could see against Leinster, they're attack-minded team. We know Dave Williams quite well from his stint at the Sharks, and they're playing an exciting brand of rugby, and they certainly performed very well against Leinster and looked a different team to what they looked last year. So we're wary of the challenges that they'll bring to the table, but at the same time, being the first game of the tournament, we are concentrating on ourselves.
Carl, proceed with your question.
Sean, have you had Butter Chamberlain and Cotton Wool? I just, had a bit of bad luck with your fly halves in pre-season with those injuries. How much of a challenge is it to overcome that, to lose 2 guys?
Yeah, we wouldn't have ever betted on 2 of the fly halves getting injured, especially as severely as they were in those first 2 games. But that's the nature of rugby. We're just fortunate that we have a youngster like Putter Chamberlain to step up to the plate. You know, last year, this time, he really took the opportunity and he grabbed it with both hands and performed admirably for the Sharks on the European tour. So he gets another opportunity now. He's also a guy that has performed well in the preseason friendlies, whether it be at fly or fullback. So, you know, he's full of confidence at the moment.
Ken, you can proceed with your question.
Thanks, Thomas. How's it, Sean? How's it, Thomas? Sean, just in terms of loose trio, and obviously injuries and guys away with the box play a big role there, but it's a very mobile, dynamic loose trio, isn't it? Is that kind of the way you're looking to go in Europe?
Yeah, I think, you know, Dylan and James have been involved with us before. We've played them together in the Currie Cup with a lot of success. We just feel that, you know, they get through a hell of a lot of work in the game. They've been our form loose forwards at training. Dylan, even though he's a 6, is a strong ball carrier and is known for his ball carrying ability. So yeah, we're excited to the difference that they can bring to this team.
Carl, do you still have your question? Because you haven't asked yours, or I'll open the floor to others. Okay, anybody? Brendan, you go ahead.
Sean, hi. I just wanted, has Neil arrived? And I mean, you guys are away now, but how's your interactions been with Neil Powell so far?
Yeah, well, you know, we let Neil concentrate on his 7's responsibilities. He's just wrapping up things down in Stellenbosch. So him and I have chatted with regards to our plan going forward, and he's on the same page. But Brendan Neil will only be joining us on Sunday in Wales. So we're very excited about him joining us.
Sabu, you can go ahead.
Thanks again, Novash. My question's for Thomas. Last year you came back from the Bok bubble in Australia and immediately joined another bubble in the URC. What is it like now going to Zebre and not having the challenges of the new competition, probably not as many teething problems? And maybe Sean as well, if you can add your thoughts as well, because you were there at the very start. Is there more fluid feel to the competition now? And is it normal now to go to Europe? What is the sense in the team? What's the feeling like with that regard?
Yeah, I think from our side, we've definitely settled in much quicker than we did last time. Everything was just new and something not a lot of players have experienced before. But we have definitely settled in and we've done our part, and the travel was difficult, but everyone didn't complain about it. We were happy with it, and knowing what to do and what we needed to get right over here. That was the focus. So the rest of it was kind of second in the importance for us. So everything is really settled in quite quickly, which is nice, and we're ready to take it on.
Mike, you next, followed by Charles. Sorry.
Sean, just on the newcomers that have joined the squad, in particular, a guy like Rohan, how's he settled in? Has he made an impact? What do you expect from him?
Yeah, Ron had settled in really well. He brings leadership to the group, and he's got a strong voice in team meetings. Like I say, for us to have a more experienced team, on this trip is certainly going to benefit us. And the knowledge that he brings to the team and the assistance with us developing the youngsters is vitally important. So yeah, we're very happy with what he's brought, and obviously Kodlu's fitted in really well with us. He's been at the Lions for a long period of time, and he fitted in seamlessly, and we're looking forward to see what he can bring at scrum time.
Carl, this is third time asking for you.
Yeah, can you hear me?
Loud and clear. Go ahead.
Thanks. Coach, good luck for the season, but just checking, will you have an expanded selection pool for your first home game? And overall for the season, how many players you think are going to be available, maybe for not most of the matches?
Yeah, our injury list is getting shorter and shorter as the weeks go by. So we're expecting to be able to select from a full complement of players, except for the two fly-halves will only be ready at the end of October. So that's quite exciting for us, guys like Vincent Sutuka, Pilo Gumede, Lapis Labiskachny, Bradley Davids, just off the top of my head. You know, they're guys that all underwent shoulder surgery post the previous campaign. So yeah, it will be great for us to have more headaches as far as selections concerned.
Cebu, followed by Ken and then Sitimbiso.
All right, thanks again. Sean, Aphelele Fassi coming back to the Sharks during the international season. Is there some level of, motivation or picking him up or game correction that you guys needed to do to get him back to the level where he'll be a Springbok or in the Springbok radar again? And what is his sharpness like for you guys going into your tournament?
Yeah, Aphelele has been on top of his game. Unfortunately, you guys weren't witness to the two friendlies that we played against the Lions and the Stormers, but in those games, he was outstanding. He has moved forward. He knows what he needs to do and what he needs to work on to get back into the Bok fold.
Ken, and thereafter Sitimbiso and Jan.
Thomas, Sean mentioned Zebre being a bit more attack-minded, seemingly from the opening round, but they also look to have beefed up their pack a bit. What are you expecting from them up front?
Yeah, absolutely. Listen, they matched Leinster scrum very, very well, and they've been having some lots of players off of lineouts also, and good mauling side. So definitely beefed up their pack, and we are quite aware of that, and we're excited to actually put ourselves to the challenge for them. But yeah, you're 100% right, and we are very excited for the challenge. They obviously a new look team, and there's a little bit of unpredictability that comes along with that. But we're very excited about it, and we're well prepared.
Hi, Coach Sean. Just going into the second season, what would you say has been some of the biggest lesson from the first season? And do you have like a target in terms of points going on this tour, to this tour?
Yes, that's a good question. Obviously, after our URC review at the end of last season, there were certain things that we had to work on. The challenges that we faced in the URC last year was obviously going into the unknown. Guys are a little bit more aware now of what to expect. We're playing against teams that have their full international complement available for selection. So we under no false illusions of what's expected from us. So I think that experience last year was good for us. In saying that, the areas that we needed to work on, with a new coaching staff, the preseason has really helped us sort out the problems that we needed to sort out. We know that the breakdown in this competition is unforgiving. So it's an area that we focused on, as well as the accuracy in our execution of set piece and set piece attack, as well as phase play.
Sean's
In terms of
my
the
apologies.
points target going into this tournament, into this tour?
Sorry?
The points target, do you have any target?
Yeah, so we looked at it. We looked at Super Rugby tours in the past. We've given ourselves a goal of coming home with 10 points. Anything above that will be a bonus for us. And as we found out last year, the logs were really jammed at the top. There were 1 point and 2 points and 3 points separating the top 5 teams. So we know that every point counts, and that's what we'll be aiming for.
Sorry about that, Jan. You can proceed next, followed by Ken. Thereafter, I'm going to have 2 final questions. Thank you.
Thanks so much. Sean, my apologies if it has been asked and answered. The exact injuries of Kerwin and Lionel, and how long they expected to be out for?
Yeah, Lionel fractured his arm against the Lions. It was quite a freak accident on the field. He'll be out for 6 to 8 weeks, which brings him back into play at the end of October. Depending on how that injury heals, he could be back a bit sooner. Kerwin also underwent surgery on his thumb, fractured thumb, and we expect him to be out for the same period of time, which would be at the end of October.
Okay, Ken?
Sean, good news on the injury front. Takia Abrahams, though, he looked really exciting last year, and then, of course, that very unfortunate injury. You must be pleased to have him back.
Yeah, very pleased for him. You know, he's a popular player amongst his teammates, works extremely hard at his game. And unfortunately, last year, as you said, he went, you know, he got that serious injury. He's worked hard coming back. And in the preseason friendlies, you know, he's earned his selection in the starting lineup. So it's exciting for him to be back on the field.
Final 2 questions. I'm opening the floor. There's no further questions. Thank you, Sean and Thomas, for your time.